guys, it's Lord of the Pogs. Area 51 has been a hotspot for human imagination for generations. Speculation of aliens continue to persist. Rumors that alien bodies are stored there, scientists are doing experiments and autopsies on alien cadavers, and even that aliens and humans work together continue to spread. Conspiracy theories about what really goes on there continue to spiral, and some of them are actually pretty creative. Documentaries like The Alien Autopsy and The Alien Interview do little to quell these rumors. To get to Area 51, you have to start in Rachel, Nevada. If you're flying in, you'll need to fly into Las Vegas and rent a car, then make the 2-hour drive to Rachel. Rachel is a very small town of only 48 people, so the only motel is the Little Alien, which has a restaurant and everything else is private residences. There is also an RV park and a gas station nearby. Once you're settled and ready to go, drive southeast on Extraterrestrial Highway for 20 miles until you encounter a black mailbox. When you see it, turn right onto a gravel dirt road and drive for 12 miles. This is where things start to get dicey. You'll encounter a very obvious line where the dirt road becomes paved. If you wave, they'll wave back, but unless you want to visit from them, turn around and drive back to the highway. The guards are very polite, and they only give you as much guff as you give them, but if you want my advice, it's this. It's just not worth it, and you're better off admiring from a distance. In my research, I tracked down and spoke to a number of individuals who were assigned to Area 51 previously, including a former Marine with a high security clearance, a former U.S. Air Force security police officer, and a retired avionics engineer. What they told me is working at Area 51 is little different from working at any other Air Force base, except that it's neither fun or exciting. The hours are long and monotonous, and the work is very mundane. Constant drills and running from one spot to another because someone misplaced their badge. The food is, and I quote, god-awful. I was told that no one volunteers to work there, and those that do regret it pretty fast. There's zero tolerance for questions. When you're given an assignment, you're expected to just do it. My avionics engineer contact worked for Lockheed Martin building aircraft parts and was assigned to regular meetings with Air Force pilots at Area 51. His team flew in on a private plane, with the window sashes sealed, before being escorted into a building that was just conference rooms for a day full of boring meetings before flying home. Unfortunately, all my contacts confirmed that there are no aliens at Area 51. I can't independently verify this because I haven't been there myself, but it's more likely than not that even if there were, anyone who knows is going to say that there's not. But what I can say is that our government sucks at keeping secrets. Area 51 was built in 1955. Public knowledge of Area 51 began to spread as early as 1959, and the US government officially denied its existence until 2013, following a Freedom of Information Act request. If aliens existed at Area 51, it probably wouldn't have been released as part of the FOIA request, but it would have made its way into public knowledge beyond speculation and conspiracy theories. Nobody lives at Area 51. The people who work there are employees, and when they're not at work, they live the same lives we do. They live in homes, they drive cars, and they take their kids to school. If you've traveled, or especially if you've visited that part of the country, you've probably interacted with at least one person who has been to Area 51. It's believed that at least 1,500 people work there at any given time. Using a formula developed by Dr. Robert Grimes to estimate how long it takes for a conspiracy to unravel, if aliens have been present at Area 51 since 1955, this would have come to light between 1960 and 1965. So mathematically, it makes sense that there's no aliens at Area 51. Sorry. At this point, I want to take a minute and talk about Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar has made a lot of claims, and that's all they are, just claims. There's only so much you can back yourself up with when discussing a topic like Area 51, but he doesn't even have that. He says he has master's degrees in physics and electronics from MIT and Caltech. Not only have both of these institutions stated repeatedly that they have no record of this individual, they've further stated that even if he had applied, he would have been rejected because of his high school performance record. Although he insists that he has degrees from these institutions, he is unable to recall the names of any of his professors or fellow students except for one lecturer who in fact works at Pierce Junior College and has never taught at either Caltech or MIT. He further claims to have worked at Los Alamos Mason Physics Facility. However, the facility states that they have no record of him and that he worked as a technician for a contractor firm that the facility has done some business with. All that being said, everything that Bob Lazar says he has seen or done at Area 51 should not be taken seriously. He is little more than a conspiracy theorist. Admittedly, all my resources may not be reliable, which I'll talk about in a minute, but the difference here is that I'm being upfront about my credentials. One of my contacts did tell me a little bit about something that he called Project Ultra. He told me that they're trying to develop a super soldier, and the way he explained it sounded like Project Rebirth from the Captain America movies. He told me that he worked in a different part of the base, that he was aware of it, and they were doing trials on human subjects. No one really knows who these people are, but there's speculation that they're soldiers themselves, ranging from regular military to special forces, or they could be homeless people or illegal immigrants, people that there's no documentation of, no paper trail to find a missing person. He told me that he wasn't involved in the testing, but he saw the aftermath, and this is what he said.
After the tests, they're no longer normal. There was something wrong with his body, or what used to be his body. He's still alive, but they're trying to fix him, and others, but he is very unstable, both physically and mentally. Their bodies are not really human anymore, and they seem to get a hell of a lot stronger, and they are very aggressive.
Again, I have no way of independently verifying any of this. I did a Google search for Project Ultra, and of course nothing popped up. This dude wouldn't tell me his name for his own safety, which makes sense, but it's entirely possible that the individual I spoke to never worked at Area 51 at all, and he's just blowing smoke looking for attention. I want to believe that my sources are credible, but with something like Area 51, credibility only goes so far, and as a researcher, I have to acknowledge this. Because Area 51 is so heavily guarded, we may never know. And with deepfakes, AI, and fake news infusing our lives more every day, it's becoming more difficult to separate conspiracy theories from whistleblower testimonies without concrete evidence to back it up one way or another. The probability that Project Ultra is real is just as likely as the probability that it's not, and even though it's mathematically unlikely, it's not entirely impossible that aliens do exist at Area 51. For something like this, we all have to just decide for ourselves what to believe or what not. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that little bell in the corner to get notifications on more videos like this one.